Police continue to find promise in the fact that that gun was found yesterday near one of the crime scenes in this case, but they still aren't sure whether or not it is the weapon that was used to kill actress Jennifer Hudson's mother, brother, and young nephew.
Recovering the weapon was a good sign. It gives us some additional clues, and we're going to keep running them down.
3 crosses continue to anchor the now huge makeshift memorial that spans the front of actress Jennifer Hudson's childhood home. Last night, police removed more potential evidence from that house.
I'm extremely confident that this case will be solved.
We are taking your calls live straight out to Stacy in Indiana. Hi, Stacy.
Hi, Nancy. Thank you for all the great information you give us.
Thank you.
My question is, where is the little guy's mom at, Jennifer's sister?
Kathy Cheney with the Chicago Defender. What about it?
The family is all together. They're at an undisclosed location, and they're just sticking together, praying, staying prayerful, planning the services now. There are going to be private services on Monday at a church on the south side, and they're still pondering whether they're going to do a public service. We'll know tomorrow whether they're going to do a public service.
Everyone, we are taking your calls live, and shortly we'll be joined by an American Idol finalist, a very dear friend of Jennifer Hudson. So stay with us. To Kathy Cheney with the Chicago Defender, what can you tell me about allegations that William Balfour, the person of interest who is allegedly refusing to take a polygraph in the Hudson murders, being a member of the gang Disciples?
Well, there are allegations that he is a member of the Gangster Disciples, as well as Jason Hudson was. Those are allegations. The police have not confirmed that, but those are allegations that they are members of the same gang called the Gangster Disciples, and that they had some type of drug dealings in the past, but police have not confirmed that. Those are just reports right now.
You know, to Eleanor Dixon, Eleanor, why is it that it's always about the victim? We keep hearing the brother used to sell drugs, the brother this, the brother that. I don't care what the brother did. The family did not deserve to be shot down like dogs, slaughtered in their own home. I don't care what he did.
It's so sad, Nancy, because people say that it's almost like, well, he deserved killing, but I don't think so.
It's not his fault. It's his fault.
Right.
The little boy got shot multiple times. It's his fault. The mother is dead. It's not his fault. I don't care what he did. I don't care if he just walked out of the jailhouse and came home and plopped down on the sofa and turned on cable TV. Don't care. Doesn't matter. Why do I keep hearing it? Why do we keep talking about that?
Because people want to make excuses, I think, and they don't want to look at the defendant, the murderer, the cold-blooded person who did this horrific act.
I'm going to go back to Gangster Disciples, to Mike Brooks. Isn't it true that in the 90s, the FBI formed a task force specifically to investigate the Gangster Disciples?
Absolutely, Nancy. It was a gang task force, and they are one of the most violent street gangs in all of Chicago. You know, and they're also in other states too, Arkansas, Missouri, Mississippi, and they are still considered one of the most violent gangs, street gangs, that there ever were in the United States.
And would like to point out that the government determined gang disciples making over $100 million per year in illegal drug sales. But will a jury ever hear about that if, in fact, this guy is responsible? Let's unleash the lawyers. Eleanor Dixon, felony prosecutor out of Atlanta. Peter Odom, former prosecutor turned defense attorney, veteran trial lawyer. And, of course, Richard Herman, famed defense attorney out of New York. Welcome, lady and gentlemen. Weigh in, Eleanor Dixon.
Nancy, just what we talked about, it's always about the victim. And in this case, we've got to focus on the defendant and all the pieces of the puzzle that are going to go to convict this particular defendant. And if he's so innocent, take a polygraph. Tell us what you know or don't know.
But bottom line to Richard Herman, even if he's responsible and if he is a member of the gang Disciples, that type of evidence likely will not come into court. The court would probably rule that that touches on his reputation and is more prejudicial than probative. In other words, doesn't prove anything.
Doesn't prove anything, Nancy. It's absolutely...
Proves something to me.
Well, well, you're a little different. It's Grace Law with you.
Thank
I know.
you.
He's guilty now. You want to put him away
I
and
don't
give him the
want to
electric
be
chair now.
compared to a bunch of judges sitting on the bench with their head in the sand and their butt in the air. And speaking of, to Peter Odom, would evidence of gang membership come in at trial, if there is a trial?
It might.
if it goes to show intent, if it goes to show identity, if the gang membership can tie him to a weapon, then gang membership might well come in. It certainly shouldn't come in to show that he's a bad person, though.
Joining me right now, James Ganello, forensic firearms examiner. He's with the Stria Consulting Group out of New York. James, I want to talk to you quickly about the 45. We now know that the weapon found in the vacant lot is a 45 caliber. We believe that the little boy, Julian, was shot with a 45 caliber. We also have reason to believe the caliber used in the Hudson home was a 45 caliber. But what does that really tell us? Are there 1,045 calibers in Chicago?
Yes, Nancy. Each firearm itself leaves an individual characteristic on the bullet that has been fired from that firearm. These characteristics can be examined by an examiner to determine if it was fired from that particular firearm or not.
And if there are bullet holes in the front door of the home, how can you tell whether the shots came from inside or outside the home?
A shooting incident reconstruction can be performed. That's performed by examining those bullet holes for trace material to determine if it was an entrance or an exit, and then eventually sticking a trajectory rod through that hole to determine the directionality of the bullet itself.
To Mike Brooks, you can visibly look at it and tell entry and exit. Or at least I think you can, especially if wood is involved. If it's just a metal awning door, it might be a little more difficult.
No, you can find out entry and exit on wood, aluminum, and also in glass, and see which round was fired first, even if it goes through glass, Nancy.
Everybody, when we come back, we'll be joined by an American Idol finalist, a very dear friend of Jennifer Hudson.
It's so sad. I feel so sorry for Jennifer.
This is just miserable.
You know, it hurts. Can't do nothing, but it hurts. He didn't do nothing to nobody. But he don't deserve this.